All right, so this is a suggestion via a channel member. The name of the video is Border Patrol agents allegedly could leave in droves if Harris is elected. I can see that. Let's check it out.
Welcome back. Another new migrant caravan on the way.
That's a wild one right there, bro.
2,000 illegal migrants on the caravan headed to the United States southern border. They're coming from Mexico just 2 weeks before the presidential election. The surge in immigrants coming, as many of them are reportedly worried that if Donald Trump is elected, he will end asylum appointments through the CBP One app. They're probably right about that. Joining us now is former National Border Patrol Council President Brandon Judd. Brandon, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. So we got another caravan on the way. Do you know anything about this? What can you tell us, and what's your reaction?
Yeah, this just shows you how intelligent the cartels are, and that's the most dangerous aspect of border security, dealing with the criminal organizations that control every single facet of how people cross our borders illegally. What they're doing is they're recognizing that right now is the time to try to make as much profit as they possibly can before President Trump gets into office, because they know that once he does, it's going to be very difficult for their bottom line. They're going to have to adjust their business operations. But what they do is they look at our policies. They test the pulse of what the politics are here in the United States, and they tailor their operations based upon our policies. And this administration's policies have clearly allowed them to generate profits that have just never been seen before. Right. So this caravan that's coming up, this is driven by the cartels recognizing that they need to generate profit right now.
I mean, listen, it makes all the sense in the world that this is exactly what they're doing. Think about it, right? So if Trump gets into office, should he or would he, stop the asylum seekers from using the CBP One app to gain access to the United States of America? It depends. Okay. Now, this is the thing. Not every single case for asylum is a flagrant lie. Okay, but the overwhelming majority are. Okay. And so what we do need to do is to maintain, kind of stay in Mexico type of thing, right? Vet every single individual before you actually allow them access to the United States of America, period. Right? Like if they say anything like, I'm claiming asylum because I can't find work in my country. I'm sorry, that's not asylum, right? That's economic migrancy. That's what that is. And that does not qualify for us to just let you in to be here. It's not a reality. But if Trump does get in, I would say probably day 1 or 2, he's going to send people down to the border in ways that we probably haven't seen since Obama, basically. That's what's going to happen. But all right, let's continue.
I mean, we've been talking about these cartels for a long time now, Brandon. I mean, is this administration ignoring the drug cartels? Do they not understand that these very dangerous cartels are actually putting people's lives in jeopardy, exploiting women and children, trafficking, bringing all these drugs in? Why hasn't this president and vice president taken on the Mexican drug cartels who are working with the Chinese Communist Party to create this death and destruction in America?
First, they do understand it. Everybody knows that we have the best intel operations in the entire world. We know what's going on. We know what the driver is. We know who the bad actors are. We know everything about these cartels, whether it's the Sinaloa cartel, the Gulf cartel. We know everything about them. The problem is politics always gets in the way. And when that happens, you're looking at the base voters. The Democrats recognize and understand that their base support, they want open borders. And so if they were to shut down those borders, then they're going to have a lot less people that turn up to the polls when they vote. So that's the problem, again, with politics, is we put the aspirations of single individuals ahead of what's best for this country. And that's what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris has done constantly. They tout we need legislation. And while we do absolutely need legislation, Congress has to step to the plate to give us good legislation, not the legislation that Kamala Harris is constantly talking about, so that we don't have one person controlling everything, so that we have laws that will shut this down. But there are policies right now that she could do that would secure our border, that would allow us to ensure that these cartels don't generate the profit that they do.
I mean, I get what he's saying. It makes all the sense in the world, right? Do we know exactly what's happening at our southern border? Yes, we do. Of course we do. We've known for a very long time. Like this specifically isn't a brand new phenomenon, guys. I mean, our southern border has been bombarded for the last 50 years. And what made the numbers start going crazy was the war on drugs, guys. This is the reason why these cartels exist in the manner that they do. We basically created the monster that is them, basically. By making an attempt to stop them, we made it worse. And then, obviously, if it's worse for these individuals here, there's a reason why they're coming. They're coming because their countries have basically been obliterated by terrible policies, hyperinflation at times, guys, American dollar, black markets, etc., guys. That's just what they're basically running from. Bad policies in general. But do we know what the cartels are doing in the South? Yes, we do. Absolutely. But are they going to do it again? No. The American government should attempt to do something, but it seems like whenever we try to do something, we make things worse, or we create brand new entities that did not exist before, right? Once you remove the head of something, it becomes somewhat of a vacuum, and then you create this absolute monster. We created these individuals that are now basically moving people to the north for profit, basically. But let's continue.
Liz, jump in here.
Good morning. It seems like the administration has changed some rules, being panicked. The polling showed that people were really angry about illegal immigration. But don't those rules changes have anything to do with these caravans? We haven't seen a big caravan like this for a while. Am I wrong on that? I mean, isn't there something that will prevent these people from coming into the country at this point?
So it just depends on how they try to do it, whether they use the CBP1 app, cross the border illegally in certain locations and claim asylum. So there's different ways that they can exploit the loopholes that this administration has created. So when they talk about, we've driven numbers down, well, they've driven numbers down from their highs, not from Donald Trump's highs, but from their highs. And these numbers are still looking at what Jay Johnson, former DHS Secretary under Obama, said. We're still experiencing catastrophic numbers every single day at our border. We're still experiencing well over 1,000 apprehensions, which again is which is the red line that Jay Johnson put. We're still experiencing really, really high numbers. So these migrant caravans, although we haven't seen them in the past, we're seeing the equivalent of a caravan every single day spread out across our entire southwest border.
I mean, the issue of being unvetted is really what gets me. And we've got this new video which shows a large group of illegal migrants spotted near the Texas border this weekend. This includes 32 unaccompanied minors and 7 special interest migrants from Iran and Africa. Special interest migrants come from countries that pose a potential national security risk to the United States. Meanwhile, an illegal Honduran migrant has been sentenced to 37 years in prison in Texas. He was convicted of leading an organized criminal operation that was responsible for a series of high-profile home burglaries. He's already been deported from the United States twice. In Florida, a trio of illegal migrants arrested last week for crimes against a child under 12 years old.
Oh, my God.
I mean, the list keeps on going. Investigators say they entered the country illegally in 2021. They turned themselves into Border Patrol. They were...
Are they like brothers? I think they're brothers, because these guys look like twins. Yeah, they must be Lopez.
told to call for a court date. They never did, brothers. Obviously, Brandon. You've told us this story over and over again. I mean, why the U.S., officials believe that they're actually going to call you for a court date. They come in and then we're supposed to accept another caravan of unvetted people.
Yeah, and again, it strictly comes down to the policies that are being exploited by criminal organizations. We could shut down these organizations tomorrow. We have the power to do it. Kamala Harris promises that if she gets in the White House, that she will do it. We shouldn't. There's no reason that we have to believe her when she could do it right now. Simple policies will allow us to control this. She's not giving us those.
She's not the president. She's the vice president. So if Biden doesn't want to do it, then they can't do it. I mean, I think we need to fully understand that issue there, guys, right? I mean, the vice president is not the president. Now, listen, we can absolutely fault her for a lot of things. We need to be at least intellectually honest here, bro.
Those policies. So there's no reason that she's given us for us to believe that she will do it if she wins the presidency, which I don't think that she's going to.
So, I mean, look, if she does win, Border Patrol agents are threatening that they are going to leave in droves. Okay, so I want to get your take on it. You speak to your colleagues, your former colleagues as well. Multiple agents told the New York Post they cannot face another 4 years of being undermined and scapegoated. They say if Donald Trump wins, they'll stay. Trump received a unanimous endorsement from the Border Patrol Union last week, and as you know, the union includes 16,000 men and women. He also recently unveiled a new border plan to bring in 10,000 new Border Patrol agents who would get an immediate 10% raise and a $10,000 retention and signing bonus, Brandon. But if he doesn't win, they say they're out of there.
Okay.
What have you heard?
Yeah, people want to feel like their job means something. They want to feel like
Yeah, but it's a job.
they're accomplishing something when they go home every single day. And right now, Border Patrol agents don't feel that way. We feel more like the welcome patrol rather than the Border Patrol. No enforcement, just completely letting people go. We have to feel like our job means something. If we don't, they will leave.
Okay. All right. All right. See, guys, I am someone who absolutely, generally, will not back unions. I don't know what it is. Specifically, when people start threatening things that actually have the ability to affect the country. So now, obviously, we read the title, but I didn't know exactly where we were going with the reasoning. At least now that I understand the reasoning, ooh, bro, I'll fire all of you. I'm telling you right now, like, don't make me the leader of anything. I'm telling you, you start talking like this, I'll fire every single one of you. All of you. All of you are gone. Oh, I don't care who is in office. If you specifically take an oath of office for some reason, and I'm guessing that's what they had to do, they're not elected officials. So the fact that you're saying something like this, willing to leave the country completely at risk, then that means that you don't care about the job in the first place. I don't care who the president is. Your job, currently, yeah, it doesn't look like it's like some terrible welcome wagon. Yeah, it looks like it. It does. That's pitiful. It is. But it's a job, right? You're not an elected official by any means. Okay. And you were hired to do a job, and I'm guessing you took some type of oath of office. And if you did, and you're saying this publicly, I'll fire all of you. That's where I'm at. I'm telling you, okay? It doesn't matter. You came in here to do something for the country. Regardless of whoever is running anything, your job is to protect the border by your means. If unfortunately the people in the White House are not telling you to stop anything, that is obviously terrible. It's obviously terrible, but you signed up for this job, right? Like, I'm sure you weren't headhunted for this. But listen, I get the issues that you're having mentally with it, the moral conundrum you are facing. Okay. But if you took an oath of office and you're willing to leave our country in a literal blind spot, I get it. The White House is doing it, obviously. But bro, nah, like just like with the dock workers when they were like, oh, we're going to stop all movement of the nation. Oh, really? You're fired, all of you. Don't listen. I don't know what it is. Okay. I don't deal with threats very, very decently. I will rather take the negative side of whatever threat you're threatening right now than even go any forward with you. Like, we can no longer move forward. I'm telling you, once you give me an ultimatum, you might as well just do the negative aspect of the ultimatum. Okay. Cause, I don't like that, bro. All right. I get what you're saying, but now to me personally, you're considered one of the most least honorable individuals on the planet. But either way, listen, guys, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And I expect to be yelled at, obviously, for not this. But all right, guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.